Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Wacky Wednesdays!
Wacky Wednesdays!
Welcome to Wacky Wednesdays. I'm Christy Richardson, the Children's Director at Northside Church. Let's have some fun.
It's a noisy girl life. It's a noisy girl life.
My wacky story today is going to be about my youngest son, Colin. If you know him, he is 15, almost 16. He's actually 16 in a couple of weeks. But this story is about him when he was either 8 or 9 years old. And he wanted to play basketball. So I was like, cool. So I signed him up for a team at, Lisa, stop giggling.
Sorry,
I signed him up for a
story.
team at Upward Basketball, which is where they play at West Jackson Church, sometimes over at Inglewood. I'm like, cool, we'll sign you up, it'll be fun. So the coach contacts us and we go to our first practice. Well, we walk in the gym and the first thing we notice is that it's all girls that are practicing. And I'm like, cool, I'll find his team, no big deal. I go to where the coach had told us to go, and sure enough, it's the girls' team that's practicing. And so I call the coach over and I'm like, I must have gotten something wrong. This is my son Colin. We're here for our practice. Can you help us? And then he says, this is Colin? And then he looks at me and I look at him and we kind of both realize at the same time I had signed Colin up for a girls' team. Yes. Somehow he shows me the application. I look at it, and sure enough, I had checked when it said, I wrote Colin's name, and then it says check either male or female. I checked female. I don't know why I checked female. I don't have a female. I have 3 sons. But it was very, very funny. Colin was a great sport about it. Just shrugged it off, and I called the head of Upward and got him signed up on a boys' team. But again, it was very funny. It was very unexpected when we walked in and saw those girls, and he was on a girls' team. And like Lisa knows, I'm normally so organized and on top of these things.
Not this time.
Not this time. It was really, really wacky. That's my story.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wacky Staffy, taking us back, making us laugh. Wacky Staffy, making us laugh. It's a wacky staff. It's a wacky staff.
Woo! Hi guys, I'm here for this week's Wacky Wednesday. I'm going to tell you a story that now I can look back on and laugh at. At the time that it was happening to me, I did not find it very funny at all. I found it scary, and I did not know what I was going to do. But we'll see. I'm not going to give away the outcome. I'll let you all kind of figure out maybe what happened to me. I was in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we were at our Taekwondo World Championships, and we were staying at what was then the Excelsior Hotel, adjoining the convention center there. And at that time, there was a big escalator that came down from the 2nd floor. It was just off to the side of the front desk where you checked in and checked out. And I had taken some stuff to the car. We were getting ready to check out and head back to Jackson. And I was coming down the escalator to meet my husband. I was carrying Sophia. She was really small then. She was maybe a year old, maybe 2 years old tops. And I got on the escalator, and at the time, the fashion was long skirts, and I had on this long skirt. And I stepped on the escalator, and I was shifting position, trying to hold her. She was squirming, and my skirt got caught in between the escalator step and the railing of the escalator. So as we're going down the escalator, my skirt is steadily getting sucked into the escalator itself. So I'm leaning and trying to hold Sophia, and I'm pulling on my skirt, and I'm pulling on my skirt, and I'm thinking, oh no, if I get to the bottom, either my skirt's coming off and I'm going to be standing there in front of everybody in the lobby without a skirt on, or it's going to suck me in all the way till I'm like pinned to the floor with my skirt over my head or whatever, I don't know. But I was terrified that I was not going to get this skirt loose. And I'm just jerking on this, and I can see all these people I know down there. My husband's standing down there checking out. I am freaking out on the inside. I can't do anything on the outside. So I'm just jerking and tugging with one hand because I had to hold Sophia in the other. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that I was going to get to the bottom and be skirtless and be standing there in my underwear. Terrifying Terrifying when there are tons of people there that you know. Luckily, Luckily, just as I was about to get to the bottom, there was like 2 steps to curl down underneath. I jerked really hard and I got my skirt free. Got off the escalator and I stood there trying to catch my breath because I was exhausted from trying to pull on the skirt, hold this baby, and the anxiety and fear of, oh no, my skirt's gonna get ripped off, had just taken my breath away. I caught my breath and walked over to my husband and I said, you're never going to believe this. I hope this is a good story for you. I hope you found it funny, and I hope you have an awesome week this week.
Bible story.
Yeah.
Well, that was an unexpected ending.
Very much so. Just like our background's unexpected.
Yeah, see if you can guess who it is. You get a prize.
Get a prize. Who's in the
I
background?
know. And then Colin showing up for a girls' team. Oops.
That might have been one of my favorite things that Christy has ever done.
You love that
Oh,
story.
I love that story. I can't help it.
But anyway, we're talking about another story today where something unexpected happens in the Bible. So, Lisa, who are we going to talk about?
We are going to talk about Zacchaeus. Okay, now we all know Zacchaeus as a wee little man was he. Okay, you can read about him in Luke 19, but we're not going to focus on the fact that he was short or that he climbed up in a tree. The unexpected part of this story is how Jesus reacts to him. Okay, now Zacchaeus was a tax collector. Tax collectors were not typically good people back then. Not only were they doing what they were supposed to do for their job, but they usually took more money than they were supposed to, kind of cheated people out of their money, stole from people who were their friends and their neighbors. So it was bad stuff. They
Not
did
very well liked.
No, okay, but Zacchaeus had heard about this great man, Jesus, and as you know in the story, he climbed up in the tree to see him. And so when Jesus came by, he didn't sort of look up and then keep walking. He actually acknowledged Zacchaeus by his name, which Zacchaeus had not told him. And he said, Zacchaeus, come down. And you know what? I'm going to go to dinner with you. Zacchaeus was so moved by that, and Jesus went to dinner with him. People did not like that unexpected ending. For him to go to dinner with Zacchaeus was unheard of. They whispered, oh, he's hanging out with sinners. Okay. Now Zacchaeus was so moved by his love that he said, not only am I going to stop cheating people out of money, but if I took any money from people, I'm going to give them back 4 times the amount. Wow. It was amazing. Yes. And that's not the first time that Jesus does an unexpected ending. There's 2 other spots in the New Testament where he ate with sinners. Remember, one of the disciples was a tax collector, Matthew.
Yeah.
That's right. And so in Matthew 9 and in Mark 2, you can read about again Jesus hanging out with the sinners, the unexpected people. And when people asked him why, you know what he said? I love this statement. He said, the healthy aren't the people who need a doctor. It's the sick people. And Christy and I went to a ministry conference recently, virtually, and one of the best things they said was that Jesus started a revolution of love. And him doing that unexpected move, he started a revolution, and he started loving people in a way that people didn't understand. And that is the best unexpected kind of story we can get.
Love it. Thanks, Lisa.